Shawn, what do you mean this one tip? Are you clickbaiting us? No, absolutely not. This is the story of how I saved my client an exponential amount of money by doing this one simple thing. So I understand everyone lives their day-to-day life, kids having cereal, spilling it all over the table, juice spilt on the carpet, beds not made. Well, I'm going to tell you the little story of a client who came to me with a situation. So this client came to me and wanted to sell her home because it was just becoming too much for her, and not to mention she was a little elderly and needed money, equity from her home to kind of carry on in life. So she wanted to sell and go to renting. So when I initially walked into the home and I saw the property, my eyes kind of rolled back to the top of my head and I was like, oh boy, we're gonna have to buckle up here. House was in a great location, but condition was very, very poor. So immediately upon walking through the property, I had numerous concerns. Number one, the property was cluttered and filthy. And when I'm talking cluttered, every room had boxes to the ceiling, making it almost an impossible sale, or she would get far less for the property than the property was worth. So after reviewing the property and sitting down with the seller, we had a good, honest conversation and determined that yes, she needed to sell the home because she needed to relinquish some equity. So I understood that money was very important, but I had numerous concerns about selling this property because I knew I wasn't gonna get her the top dollar for this property. And she already expressed to me that the reason she was selling because she wanted money. So I sat down with the seller, Tamara, and I offered some options. And this is the most important tip you need to know when selling your home. Clean it, get it presented, and you will sell your home. The old school thought of thinking, I'm gonna list my house and it will sell is absolute incorrect thinking. Everyone watches the shows, the HGTV, the Selling Sunsets. Everyone sees how a property is presented. Well, guess what? Now that mindset is in every buyer's mind, and that's what they expect to see when walking through your property. So, speaking with Tamara, I made some very, very huge suggestions. Number one, I suggested she cleaned out her whole house. She looked at me with her eyes and her head hung low, and she said, Shawn, how am I going to do this? She goes, I have so much stuff here. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I said, well, you know what, Tamara? I can actually help you. I have people that can help you. Well, that's going to cost me money, Shawn. I said, yes, Tamara, but it's going to be the best money you ever spent. So Tamara and I sat there, we talked, we scheduled a plan. I connected her up with a packer who could get rid of all this stuff. We put a bin in front of the house, got rid of all the clutter. Not to mention, I also hooked her up with a painter who could go through and repaint the whole house. Tamara and I stayed in touch over the next number of months because this was not an easy process. And here's the funny thing. Tamara would call me every month. Shawn, we're getting there. But Tamara was so frustrated. And I said, Tamara, just keep your head down. We have a plan. Just keep on going. Month number 2, Shawn, we're getting there. Oh boy, this better be worth it, Shawn. We continue on. 3rd month, Shawn, come by the house. We're done. And oh my goodness, what a difference. I'm excited to show you. So I hadn't popped in to see Tamara once throughout the whole process. I was waiting for the big, let's say, surprise reveal. Well, I got through the property and I was so excited for Tamara because it was clean, it was presented well. And again, I must say, Tamara had a really good, solid home, and it wasn't pure filth. It was just a massive amount of stuff. Tamara loved garage sales and accumulated numerous things from garage sales over the year. So sitting down with Tamara, guess what? We did another market evaluation. So a couple things happened. Number one, Tamara got her property presentable, increasing her value. But also, too, within that 3 months, the market changed and started to improve and property started to increase in value. So we listed Tamara's house, and within 4 days we were sold with multiple offers, getting her more money than she ever imagined. And I just changed Tamara's life. Now, Tamara was frustrated throughout the whole process, but here's the thing. Month 4 came. She gave me a call, happy as happy can be, and thanking me, because Tamara also realized that now she doesn't have to pack up all that stuff. She already finished it. She's like, Shawn, if I didn't do what you told me, I would have got less money and I still would have been stuck doing that work anyways. And now I can just leave. So guys, the moral of the story here is that presentation is everything. Some may say price, but if you want the big dollars, presentation helps you get price. So guys, lean on your real estate agent, have them talk and walk through the house with you, give you the tips of improvement. Don't rush the house to the market if you have time to prepare it for sale. Because just because you have your daily life, and everyone has their daily lives in their home, and that's fine, when selling, people do not want to see their daily life. Keep in mind, they want to walk through your home and picture themselves and their families in your house. So my one tip to you today is have your house prepared for sale, and you'll have a much easier selling process. So recently I did a video on affordability, and I had a comment, and thank you so much for your comment. Comments are always appreciated. So I'm going to take this second here to read this comment. Shawn, correct me if I'm wrong. When a developer develops land, let's say for a subdivision of 50 houses, the government requires that a certain percentage of the development needs to be affordable housing. However, under the Planning Act, affordable housing by definition means 80% of the values of houses. So if houses are selling for $1 million, the affordable ones will be $800K. Obviously, this isn't affordable for the average person. What needs to be done in addition to all your great points is there needs to be an amendment to the Planning Act definition of affordable housing, and there should also be policy changes regarding the percentage of affordable housing that is required to be built by developers. Government needs to amend the Planning Act, and local policy needs to change. More should be put on developers via policy. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for your comment, and I 100% agree with you. I did hear this as well, that all new projects, whether you're building a condo tower, say it's 200 units, that 10% would be made affordable housing. Well, for the gentleman who made the comment, or the person who made the comment, I'm aware of this and I'm not sure it's happening. But again, there is another article that even came out after I heard this comment that made it even more interesting to me. And I'm going to touch on that real quick, is that no new affordable units built linked to Toronto's housing now planned 4 years after inception. So what that's telling me is that a plan was made 4 years ago and absolutely nothing's been done. And that's the problem. So appreciate the comment, and I think the gentleman or person who made the comment can agree. More needs to be done. Not only that, if you're going to make these set mandates or promises, follow up on the promises, because here we are, affordable units built in Toronto, 4 years later, nothing being done. And agreed, this 10% of affordable housing, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's in effect because I'm selling some new developments and there's nothing slated as 10% affordable housing. So again, agreed, lean on the government, lean on the municipalities, and do something to fire up these developers to get building.